What's up, PokeMoshPit? This is Soul64 here, and now I've got a battle against Mulvone19, and I just want to say thank you very much for the comments that you gave in the last match. I read them all and the criticism. Basically it was about my last match being badly narrated and also about my team being whorish. I am sorry for that, and I have been practicing my narrations quite a bit throughout the last few weeks, and hopefully I'll make a better impression on this vid. So yeah, let's get with the match. So he leads off with an Azelf, and I lead off with my Blue Death, which is actually not my Gyarados, it's actually my Zoroark, and he realizes that because he didn't see the Intimidate. Therefore, he's able to go for the U-turn, one-shot me for the kill, get a crit, and take me out. And that was his facepalm on my part, so yeah, he's got an early 6-5 lead. And he goes into his Infinite. At the time, I was thinking it wasn't Infinite, so I go into my Espeon, but then the back of my head said, wait! Warning, this actually could be a Zoroark. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll switch out, jeez. And I go into my Main Channel. He goes for the substitute. So I go for the U-turn just to see if it's a Zoroark. It's super effective, which means yes, it is actually a Zoroark. Therefore, I'm able to switch out. And I'm gonna go into my Striker mainly as Death Order because I thought he'll go for the Night Burst. But then I see he goes for the SD. So I'm like, oh, okay, so it could be an SD bulk, an SD Source Dance set. No, I'm saying sub SD. So I'll go into my Gyarados just to get the Intimidate off. So now he is at +1, and he goes for the Sucker Punch, which I did predict, which means he isn't able to get off an attack. Now he goes for the punishment. I wasn't expecting it to do that much, so I go for the Taunt, predicting him to go for another SD, but that doesn't really work out. So right now I want to save this Gyarados for later, so I'm gonna have to switch out, and I'm gonna go into my Main Channel to resist the second punishment. Which it does a little bit more than I thought, but then again, due to Main Channel's frail defenses, it doesn't take it that well. So I know he's going to go for the Sucker Punch again to take out my Main Channel, so I go back into my Blue Death to get the Intimidate off. He goes for the Sucker Punch again, yet that will fail. So right now he has no boost, he's going to want to switch out, and he's going to go into his Azelf to take the incoming Waterfall, which I go for right now. And it does a good chunk, leaving him down to around 25% left. Now he was predicting me to switch out, so he goes for the U-turn. Since he kept U-turning, I was thinking that this was probably some kind of Scarf set, and he goes into his actual Zoroark just for Death Order, and I do take it out. So right now it is even at 5-5, and thanks for that second thought that I had when I brought in Espeon. That pretty much helped me in this match. So now he goes back into himself again, and I thought now he was going to go for the Thunderbolt, so I switched out, going to my Striker, but I see that he does pack the Psychic, so actually he just went for the Psychic anyway. I'm not sure if he even has Thunderbolt, but oh well, he even gets a crit, so I'm like, ugh, what's with the crits? So I'll go into my Celebi because I now know that he's some sort of choice set. On this turn, I'll go for the Earth Power, predicting the switch, and this is where he tells me that he's Specs. So I'm like, oh, so that's why. So now he goes for the Psychic again, even resistant, he does a hell of a lot of damage. He even gets another crit. I'm like, oh, the crits. So I just go for the Leaf Storm, finally take that Azelf out, and I'm like, yes, thank you. So now that my Celebi is at low health, he's going to go into his real Infinite and go for the U-turn, and that will easily take me out. But because he has to switch out as well, he gives me switch initiative, so he goes into his Ninjas, which is actually a Slowking, and I'm going to go into my Gyarados. Now I know he's not going to go for an attacking move, he's probably going to stay in and go for a nasty plot, so I go for my Taunt to see what he will do, and I see that he goes for the Toxic, so that's great. So now he's taunted, he's going to want to switch out, and he's going to switch into his Conqueror. I'm going to go for the Dragon Dance on the switch to get more powerful, so now that I am at +1 attack and +1 speed. Now I'm going to go for the Waterfall and hopefully to get enough damage for a 2-hit KO. And let's see. Yep, it does over 50%. He goes for the payback, which is like, yes, he doesn't actually carry the Stone Edge, which means he isn't able to take me out straight away. Which means my Gyarados is still there, kicking around. And I'm able to get off a second Waterfall, but before I do that, he goes for the Mark Punch. Not really sure why. Probably just to get a little bit of damage. But oh well, it doesn't really matter because I go for my Waterfall and take him out. Now here, he's going to switch into his Haxorus, as you'll see right now. And here was the key play of this match. I knew that he will go for the Dragon Dance, so I went for the Dragon Dance for myself, just to see if he went for it, because I was thinking in turn that in time that if I went for the Earthquake, he would have Dragon Dance and swept me. So I'm like, yes, he went for it. So therefore, I'm able to outspeed him because I still have my Dragon Dance boost. Go for the Earthquake, and I nearly take him out, but unfortunately he lives. Therefore, he's able to take me out with the Outrage. And he was telling me good game at this point. I was like, nope. Me and Xiao's here for the rescue. And he goes for the U-turn and takes out his Axis. So that was great. So now I'm gonna go back into my Espeon, and he's gonna go into his Ninjas, which is not actually Ninjas, it's a Slowking, and I've said that twice already. Now I go for my Light Screen, and he's gonna go for the Toxic, which is a really bad play because that will actually get reflected back at him. So now he is poisoned, and now this Slowking is pretty much gonna be crippled turn after turn. Now I go for the Psychic just to get a little bit of damage, and he retaliates with a Surf, so thankfully he hasn't got a Boiling Water because that would have caused a real problem, as it could have burned either my Espeon or my Kojondo, me and Xiao. So I switch out, go into the Kojondo now, and he's going to go for the Surf, but because of the Light Screen, it isn't going to do very much. So I'm going to go for the U-turn, just to get super effective damage, but he sees that, and he's going to go into his real Infinite, just to take the hit. I do go for the U-turn, does a little bit of damage, and because of that I'm able to switch out, go into my Espeon, and I'm going to be able to outspeed him, go for that Psychic, kill him in one hit, and take it out. So yeah, now it's looking good. It's 2-1 to me, and his last Pokemon is the Slowking. Now I'm going to speed this bit up a bit because pretty much this is a little bit stally. All he's doing now is just hit me with the Surf while I'm hitting him with the Psychic. And I'm going to be down at low health, so I'm going to go for the Morning Sun, as you'll see here, just to get my health back up. So if he thought he could stall me, that won't be the case, because with my health going up and his poison racking up, he's going to be doing very much. So now that my light screen's off, I'm going to go for the crit, and he goes for the Iron Defense. So that was another move that I didn't know he was packing, probably to defend against my Kojondo's or me and Xiao's U-turn. But that's not going to matter very much because he is poisoned due to his earlier mistake, which means I'm able to go into my me and Xiao. He goes for the Surf, won't do very much because of the Light Screen, and right after this I'm going to go for the U-turn and take him out. So that would be good game. Good games, Mulvone19. Links are in the description. I hope you like this narration much better, and I'll hopefully check you guys out later. Peace.